Sheldon W. Galbraith was born in Toulon, Manitoba on May 24, 1922. He bought his first pair of skates with the money he earned from his paper route. While skating for the ice volleys in San Francisco, he met fellow performer Gene, and they were married. After serving in the U.S. Air Force as a flight instructor during World War II, he moved back to Canada in 1946 to begin his coaching career at the Minto Club, and then moved to the Toronto Skating Club in 1949. Mr. Galbraith was a well-respected longtime Aurora resident and father of 5, and as a competitor, he was triple Canadian gold medalist in figure skating, free skating, and ice dance, and double United States gold medalist in figure skating and free skating. Mr. Galbraith was coach, choreographer, and an innovative pioneer, both in Canada and on the international stage. He was the Canadian Olympic team coach in 1948, 56, and 60. Throughout his career, he coached many skating champions, such as world and Olympic medalists Barbara Ann Scott, Frances Defoe, and Norris Bowden, Barbara Wagner and Robert Paul, Donald Jackson, Wendy Grinner, Valerie Jones, and many other national and international skaters and medalists.
With Barbara Ann Scott, what made it different for her is that Mr. Galbraith was also in the show business world with his brother in ice volleys for a long time. And so what he did was bring music, costumes, choreography to Barbara Ann Scott, which helped her move up a notch in the world of figure skating to win her Olympic title. I mean, she's like a 5-time the winner from Canadian, North American, European, World, and Olympic champ. So he was able to bring the extra out of her to make her who she became as a skating star.
Galbraith was a coach ahead of his time and was the first to use video analysis as a teaching tool. He used 16 and 8mm film to show his students what they needed to change to perform at their best. He introduced video replay using an Ampex 3/4 reel-to-reel video recorder to incorporate instant playback footage for his students. In those days, that was unheard of. Mr. Galbraith experimented with new apparatus, using his exceptional talent for teaching and innovative coaching techniques to bring out the best in his skaters. He applied performance mechanics principles from aviation principles he acquired as a flight instructor. He was the first to use a hoist and trampoline to improve skills of his students. His coaching methods produced results for skaters such as Donald Jackson, who was the first to land a triple Lutz in competition, and Vern Taylor, landing the first triple axel.
He was a pioneer from the beginning. He took on Barbara Ann Scott, and in the days when she competed, of course it was outdoors, and also Canadians did not compete in Europeans. So Sheldon took Barbara Ann, she competed in Europeans, then went on to win Worlds. He was excellent at assessing what was required regarding the figures that had to be skated outdoors, the condition of the ice, and for Barbara Ann, where to put those figures. Going on to the free skating, he introduced skating to music. Very often in the early days, the skaters put their programs together and the music was the background. But as he worked with his pupils, certainly Barbara Ann and Honori and Franny, and Barbara Ann, or at least and Barbara Wagner and Bob Paul, they all choreographed their programs to the music, which was rather different.
That's what we did on Sundays. We'd have family breakfast, and he'd put music on and listen to music. Have music in the living room going, records that he had bought that he was thinking about for a student, you know.
And the other thing he did was that he introduced other elements into their program. He would hire people like Alan Lund to assist in certainly lifts with the pair skaters. And that was a definite innovation for that kind of program. Otherwise, in the old days, everyone worked strictly with their own choreographer, their own coach, but they never brought in outsiders. So his knowledge of music, and again, what could make this better, was always uppermost in his mind. And that certainly showed with Wagner and Paul. With Donnie Jackson, he designed his program for Worlds in Prague, and certainly the Triple Lutz was the high degree of expertise. And in those days, you know, the judges were on the ice. The ice conditions were not anything like they are now, and he could read the ice and gave the guidance to all his pupils.
He was the first president of the Professional Skating Association of Canada, where numerous coaches benefited from his mentoring. He was instrumental in creating coach education in Canada. But beyond coaching, Mr. Galbraith supported athletes with his fundraising efforts for the Canadian Bursary Fund to benefit young skaters. He was known to be a humble man who was dedicated to his job and was fiercely loyal to his skaters, a man of integrity and moral fiber. Mr. Galbraith retired from coaching in 1988 and was soon recognized for his groundbreaking contributions. He is a member of Canada's Sports Hall of Fame, the Canadian Olympic Hall of Fame, the Canadian Figure Skating Hall of Fame, the World Museum Hall of Fame, and the Professional Skating Hall of Fame. He was awarded the Order of Ontario, the Order of Canada, and the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. He passed away in April 2015 at the age of 93, leaving a legacy which will not soon be forgotten, nor will the effects of his contributions quickly fade.
So on behalf of Skate Canada, we'd like to thank Mr. Sheldon Galbraith for being such a genius on ice and for producing such great athletes in Canada, around the world, and for being innovative in the sport of figure skating, because we have a great, rich history. We'd also like to congratulate him for being inducted into the Aurora Sports Hall of Fame. And by the way, folks, he worked with a lot of hockey players, so he improved a lot of their skating skills.
And now, we are proud to welcome figure skating coach extraordinaire, Mr. Sheldon Galbraith, as a member of the 2016 class of inductees to the Aurora Sports Hall of Fame.
So first of all, I'll call up the presenting sponsor, Dan Coldwell from Pace Credit Union. So Dan Coldwell come up, and he wants to present the award. We saw in the video Sheldon Galbraith to his daughter, Jeannie Branston, on behalf of the family. So Dan Coldwell from Pace Credit Union and Jeannie Branston. Get some pictures by the line. Here's a few. Take your hands up. Take a few more.
Thank you. Wow, what a tribute. That was amazing. I would like to thank the Aurora Sports Hall of Fame and the nominating committee. A special thank you to Joyce Heisey for submitting Dad's name for this honor and for all the hard work I know she's done to gather Dad's skating family together for this nomination. Also to thank Emery Leger of Skate Canada for his contribution to this wonderful evening. It's fabulous, really fabulous. Bobby Black of Black's Photography was a lifelong friend of Dad's and a tremendous help with the camera equipment. I think I called him Uncle Bob. He truly liked to have Dad to have the best in the equipment to work with his skaters. So I think it was fun for him too, getting together with Dad and seeing the results. I think too, I don't think it was mentioned tonight, but there was a little handheld viewer that Bob Black made for Dad, and that is now in the Sports Hall of Fame. So I'm jumping in here since hockey is also being nominated for induction this evening, to add that Dad did work with various hockey teams, and in particular, he worked with Frank Mahovlich on skating and balance. And they became great friends. Throughout his career, my father's focus was always on the success of his skaters. He shied away from the limelight, but the induction into Aurora Sports Hall of Fame is wonderful. It's a great honor, and I know he would have been very pleased and humbled by this recognition. On behalf of the Galbraith family, I thank you very much.
And again, we welcome our first inductee into the Aurora Sports Hall of Fame.